If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Charles shall lead them.
Buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Subhanallah. Here we go. This is Aespa, Regret of the Times 2024 remake version. All right, guys, listen very, very closely. This is from the big homie Revo, who says the following. This stream was organized at the last minute, so I didn't have time to think out my picks like usual. So instead, I decided to be a little new and trendy with K-pop, as it is my niche on this platform. That is true. He was the one that introduced K-pop to the Vin and Sori universe. That's going to be a Jeopardy question at some point when we play Jeopardy for season 3. You're going to want to know. Revo is one of the foundational members of our organization. Okay, we continue. Okay, I looked at the top trending music on YouTube and pulled the top 2 songs currently trending that are K-pop. Those will be the next 2 songs. The first one is a cover of a classic that you have already reacted to twice before. One was the original from 1995. Another, a cover by Dreamcatcher. This one is a cover by the 4th generation of the girl group Aespa. Cover that was released 2 weeks ago. It is not a trending song, as it is a side release from SM's SM station where they release songs periodically. This song is a historic song, as if you remember, it is a song that was originally released as an instrumental due to censors not approving the lyrics. I do remember that. There's a lot of that happening in South Korea. You would expect that in North Korea, but there's a hell of a lot of censorship and, people throw around the word fascism. But, if you look into that, in the previous reviews relative to Revo, there's a lot of real granular breakdown of the history. It's really interesting stuff. Later that year was when first wave of boy and girl groups, with this company being one of the leaders. A few days before this cover came out, Seo Taiji released a new music video for his original version. This will be your second reaction to this girl group, with the first being Girls. This version also has adapted lyrics in a new arrangement by No 2 Cat and Green Tea. If you watch the official music video on the side, you can turn on subtitles for English lyrics. As far as us, the audience, we can either watch an unofficial upload of the official video with Korean subtitles or watch a fan-made music video footage of the group. The official video is a side release, so it doesn't actually feature the footage of Aespa. So which one did we select?
I did the official and the fan-made one.
Okay, so we're going to watch the official on the side, and then we have the fan-made one
for everybody else.
up. Okay, so this is, I hope I'm, Regret of the Times by Aespa. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Here we are! Listen, this song was a song that we had already done with Revo, but it was talking about being fake and all that jazz. And I'm still unclear, Revo. When you say third or fourth generation, what is is there like is it like an honor thing of like doing these covers or repeatedly doing these songs, or like I'm not particularly, because there's been a couple times when like this person did a song when it was covered by the older generation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's is
it like passing the torch? Like you keep going through each
phase? It's interesting, like, because I think there's some songs, like for example, like if you're a metal band and you were coming up mid to late 90s, you were gonna do a blind cover. You know, it's just an iconic. You know, I don't care what anybody says. Like when you hear that, I don't care what anybody says. You're lying if you're not hyped up at that show, bro. The minute you hear that shit, you're like, what, where? Yeah, so that is actually something like I wanted to see. The other thing too was like the first half of this, not the video, but the song, there was that guitar riff that was kind of under it that was like anchoring the song. And it's like, it was metal in the Evanescence sense type of metal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Very simple. It's kind of like, look, this is just a groundwork because obviously the main spice is a singer, right? And we've got this crazy voice. So it started out that way, and then it kind of bled into some sort of like rap poppy thing. And it was kind of, somebody said like this review is going all over the place, like as far as like all the different songs that we've been doing, you know. One song's talking about Icarus, one song's talking about Nero, one song's talking about Atlantis, one guy's going to hell. Now we're talking about the cicadas and the evil sociopathic cats, and now we're talking about like, it's kind of like a mixed bag. The Generations is more of a fan made way of differentiating. Okay, the original came out in the '90s grunge era. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But I got another question for you though, Revo, because if the original came out in the '90s grunge era, how did they? Because there was like a rap part, right? Like, and they were doing a little of the Spanglish thing where like because in Spanish like they'll do that. It's called Spanglish.
Yeah. So
like if you're in the hood, like all the Chicanos.
Yeah.
They will speak Spanish. And then they'll say like two sentences in English and then go right back to Spanish. Yeah. And she did that.
Yeah.
In, Sclerian. I don't know how that goes. Sclerian. Because you're in Spanish and English. But it's very interesting to me because like it came out during the grunge era, but there was like this like speed rap that she was doing like, toward like the last third of the song. And was that in the original? Because that would be like mega before its time. If you were doing that shit during the grunge era, like that's incredible. So that's Konglish. Okay, that's what they call it. Okay. We have not heard the new Warning song yet, Joel.
No, Joel, but DJ Franco was in here earlier and he was talking about possibly doing it. So it might be coming. He said it was going to be coming soon, I think.
So like that is something like, and I don't know if you already touched on it, but do they? Like, okay, we're going to do this cover, and then we're going to add something to it that's a little bit different because we can't just keep doing the same song over and over again, or is that like an honor thing where you're like, we got to do it exactly the same way? Because like if she was doing, English lyrics were all new. Okay. That's, okay, so you're doing a cover of a song, and then you're adding in segments that are completely, I don't think we do that over here.
A lot of the lyrics of this, did you already read that one? Version are new.
They updated, and he did see they updated the song.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember. I remembered it was a cover. I remember we had done it, but I didn't remember the particulars of the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to pretend about that. But so that was something I was thinking about. I'm like, how did they do that? Like in the '90s, like that shit is incredible. If you were doing that show,
you know what I also think is I don't know if this. They have so many singers on one song.
Right.
And I often wonder, like after you hear like, what was going on with Slipknot recently, I don't know if that's like haram to say out loud, but like obviously it was a money issue,
major
stuff wasn't being fair or whatever.
Really
but
disappointing.
Like I haven't heard, I'm not like, entrenched in K-pop culture any of this, but like, I wonder if they have those issues because I've never heard of that.
These girls are offing themselves though at a pretty high rate.
So you think that there are more things more important than the money? Is that what you're saying? Like
they're dying.
There's yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, but to your point, they're not dying over money. They're dying over, you know, society, you know, judging them or whatever. And, you know, and that's why like the song was talking about being fake, not being real, those kinds of things, and fighting. Almost, it seems like a lot of that generation. It seems almost like a generational thing, but to Revo's point, where I think it's evidently getting progressively better. That the younger generation has to like constantly fight for their own identity. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you kind of get that here, but you really don't. But you really do at times.
How?
Like for example, you get people, you know, oh, Generation X. We kind of got like left out because we were too young for Generation X. But then like the people like that were like going to high school or middle school were Generation X, we weren't. But then it's like we're technically millennials, but it's like we don't really fit with millennials, so you don't really belong anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like generationally speaking. Yeah. But one of the things that's really fascinating is like it's all these older people that are naming entire generations of people. So it's like, we're rebels, we're Gen X. It's like, yeah, but your parents gave you that title, bro. It's like, you can't really escape it. You know, like, I'm a millennial and I don't need you old people. It's like, yes, all the old people named you that, bro. Like you're still walking. God. You're still walking around. You know what I'm saying? Like with the label that they're putting on you. But
you're rebels. Yeah,
but you're a rebel. But like, I kind of feel like these Koreans, like they're paying more of a price.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure.
Hey, the non sequitur show. Hey, salam alaikum. Lakbadallahi wa barakatuh. When you gonna have me on the show, bro? What you want? Yeah, I'm Gen Alpha. Yeah, like so like what? Yeah, exactly, Mayo. What generation is that who graduated in 2000? Exactly. I was in high school when the planes hit the building, man. That shit was incredible. But it's that struggle for individuality. But in America, it really doesn't cost you much to like rebel against a man, like when you're a kid. Oh, you're angry at your parents. Oh, you're this. You're wearing a black shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's a big problem. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, these kids are dying over here in Korea.
And they've been under a lot of like, from what we've heard from Revo, it sounds like the government persecutes their music and shuts stuff down and won't play certain songs. I mean, remember that? I'm not sure if it was in the same location, but remember that woman had made that song and it was banned. They couldn't play it, but then he had her play it for him. Yep. You know, like this kind of bullshit.
The emperor. Not the emperor, but yeah. Like it was all banned, but then come to this private session with me. Which one was that, Revo?
I think it was it was like some sort of a national song, and it sounded too much like the other.
Yeah, it sounded too Chinese or too Japanese. Something. It was too Japanese, right?
I don't remember, and I didn't want to say.
It was too Japanese. I think it was too Japanese. It sounded too Japanese, and they had they had real beef with the Japanese. I mean, they were brutal.
Okay, but I think I like the way that art should be like, you know, church. There should be freedom there to be able to say, like, also like freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Like in your art, if you want to you want to sing about something, you should be able to sing about it. You should be able to bring. I think that's crazy that the government, and especially it's so friggin' like, I don't know, two-faced is the word, but like to ban it, but then have her sing it in front of him. Like, I don't know, like these girls, the different stories that we hear, it's like, you know, people going after that girl's outfit and then she, you know, struggling after that, like how bad that was. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the freedom thing is like
I mean, it's getting, I just, like, I hesitate as an American to like, I just, you know, when we talk about freedom of speech and things like that, like, the government in America can't fuck you up for saying something they don't like, mostly. And I don't want to say, well, it's the same thing here as over there, blah, blah, blah. Because I don't know.
Won't. I wouldn't say can't.
I don't know enough. Well, they can't constitutionally.
Yeah, but they do I mean, they'll get rid of people if they're saying too much on one topic or whatever. I mean, we're hearing a bunch of little stories with the UAP stuff and like where people like he talked in the Congress. So I'm saying like if will they? I don't think that they always do that, but
protect state secrets like we had the atomic bomb. Like if somebody were to say, "Hey, here are the specs of the atomic bomb," like yeah, we'd probably kill them. But I don't think that's a freedom of speech issue. That's like a NatSec issue, which gets used all the time. Like I get it, but that was the 1960s, though. Like to your point, like that's what I'm saying. Like they have kind of evolved, like obviously, where it seems like it's more cultural pressure than actual government pressure that's like pushing these kids over the edge. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because they're killing themselves. They're not killing themselves in prison. It's not like these girls hanging themselves in prison. I mean, they're pop stars and shit, but they're imprisoned by this.
Yeah.
So I don't know enough about Revo's business. I don't know like what's about the culture that creates that kind of sensitivity. Because in America, all of our pop stars in America are basically veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Like they expect to get disrespected. Like we have shows like American Idol and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like where people are like mocked and judged and critiqued and in front of millions of people. And so it seems like our culture more acclimates, especially women, for that kind of Shark Tank, really. Whereas maybe that culture doesn't do that, and so like these girls are out there putting their hearts out there and they're just getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure what the dynamic is,
Yeah.
but the way that this girl expressed it, and again, it was like a fan-made video, so we didn't get blocked, but the way that she expressed how she was feeling about, like, the struggle to be real, not really be real, but the struggle to have an identity, I think that that's probably a more accurate statement to say about a person, at that age group, because, like, what the fuck does real mean? Like, I only have one definition of real, and that came, like, in the hood, you know what I'm saying? And so there was a very objective definition of what real meant in the hood, but I think like when people say real, generally we're talking about authenticity. You're talking about like proximity to your actual personality based on what you put out, like how close is what you put out to who you actually are, type of thing. And came back to found a K-pop company, and when they became a democracy, so like they've it's kind of crazy, like to your take about the art, like you can kind of tell where a culture is by what's going on with the artists. And so when you see a culture consistently like giving more and more and more freedom to artists, I think that that's a sign of progress. But then you can go, I don't want to say too far, but you can go into shocking people for shocking's sake instead of you're shocking people for the sake of the art form, which is not the same thing. I'm going to give this one a solid 9 because this is the cover, and we really like the original song. I'm going to give it a solid 9. She did a great cover, and she did a good job adding not only her little take to it, but also a modern take to it, which to me was like ultimately the spirit of the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Solid 8.3 for me. We'll be right back.
What'd you give it?
8.3.
Excellent. Everybody subscribe to the Non Sequitur Show. Vin and Sori at gmail.com, Non Sequitur Show. If you want to both get on. We're coming pretty close to season 3 where we're going to be mega active and interactive. So if you or anybody else want to do interviews, man, we're ready to rock and roll. We'll see you beautiful people on the other side of the freaking break. Shout out to the big homie Revo. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.